This is your one-stop shop for the best of 2022. Hi there, my name is Kevin, and normally I make trip reports and hotel reviews, but today is a bit different. Join me as we explore my favorites from the past year's hotel and resort videos on the channel. As we hand out the awards, I'll also give you a preview of what's to come in 2023. The flip-flop favorites begin in 10 seconds. We've got a lot of ground to cover today, so let's get right into the first category, my favorite lobbies. Coming in third place, we have the very unique Hotel Unique in Sao Paulo, which not only lives up to its name, but challenges what Brazilian brutalism could or should look like in the 21st century. Taking the silver flip-flop is the Hyatt Regency Samui, one of the newer resorts on the island. The lobby here is all about drawing your eye to this spectacular view at its far end. Let me mention that while I generally try to present my videos through the typical viewer's eyes, all of these awards are based purely on my own personal favorites and preferences. Coming in first is the Apurva Kempinski in Bali. This lobby made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. It's as grand and opulent as it is warm and comfortable. The main structures are designed as a pendopo, which is a Javanese outdoor pavilion, and the tiered roof is meant to draw your eyes up to the cosmos. For me though, I could never take my eyes off of these gleaming labradorite floors, which I can guarantee you look 100 times better in person. The next category focuses on my favorite rooms. Honorable mention goes to the Lalia Resort in Van Bay, just north of Nha Trang, for its breezy and comfortable tropical villas. Another honorable mention goes to the Alila Ubud in the central hills of Bali. My forest villa had just the right combination of comfort and class, while bringing the outdoors in with the wall-to-wall windows. Taking the bronze flip-flops is the brand new Park Hyatt Jakarta. The sleek, dark look juxtaposes perfectly with the bright views from the floor-to-ceiling windows. Every finish in the room is completely luxe, and when it comes to the his and hers bathroom, borderline lavish. Coming in second is the pool villa at the Hyatt Regency Samui. It's a very cliche word to use to describe a room, but this one really is just fresh without being tacky, which for a big box resort is often tough to balance. Also, nice to have this massive tub, an indoor and outdoor shower as well, and some pretty incredible water pressure. Taking the gold is the corner premium room at the Kimpton Ma Lai in Bangkok. I'm sure it's not going to be to everyone's taste, but this really is everything that I want and need in a room. At almost 800 square feet, the oversized room is modern but functional, has a commercial Nespresso machine, which you know I appreciate, as well as the separate dining office area, and their now iconic all-white bathrooms. In-room products are often overlooked, but there are certainly a few that deserve a shout-out. In third place is the Raffles Jakarta, which offered Penhaligons. In second place, we have both the Four Seasons and the Salvio Parque in Bogota, offering Loto del Sur products. Highly recommend the Acacia scent if you can get your hands on it. But the best of the year, and I reckon my all-time favorite, is from the Emiliano Rio, which offered Santa Pele products. These scents are intoxicating, tropical, and will always make you linger for just an extra second or two. Truly being featured here, 3 scents were on offer, my favorite of which, the Acai, which I do think is the perfect scent to define Rio. Next up, we have the best pools. Coming in with an honorable mention is the eye-catching pool at the Library in Samui, Thailand. In third place, we have the Belman Jimbaran Puri in Bali. This one does exactly what you want every resort pool to do. It looks refreshing, it gives you great views. It's larger than you'd think would be necessary for the resort size, so you're not crawling over each other, and it offers a variety of comfortable seating options, which of course come with that incredible Bellman service. In second is a property you're going to be really familiar with by the end of this video, the Emiliano Rio. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. In first, we have the Four Seasons Hotel at the Chao Phraya River in Bangkok. This one is taking the gold not just because of how beautiful it is or how well laid out it is, but for what it does for the hotel. This pool transforms what would be a fantastic hotel into a true urban retreat, which offers everything you'd expect from a 5-star island resort, just in the middle of what happens to be one of the most bustling cities on Earth. The beaches, they're really important, but there's so much more than just the color of the sand and the water. With an honorable mention is the huge private beach at Zanier Hotels by San Ho in Vietnam. In third place, we have the intimate and upscale Vanabelle in Samui, Thailand. Located on the famous Choang Beach, the Vanabelle has done an incredible job designing the facility so that the beach and the pool area become one. And with all of the hotel's rooms and villas dotting the hills above, down here it just feels like you're at an exclusive beach club. In second place, we're heading to Cancun. Like I said, it's not all about the colors, except for when it is. There are few places on Earth where you're going to find powder white sand and electric blue water. If you're thinking about Cancun, I've got 7 or 8 resort videos coming up from Mexico next year. Coming in first is the Melia Mai Khao in Phuket. Now, I understand why some might look at this and think, well, yeah, it's okay. But this is one of those beaches that plays with perspective, and on camera, it's near impossible to be able to appreciate its true dimensions. Coming in at over 11 kilometers long and north of the airport, it's in one of the lesser developed parts of the island. If you're a fan of the islands in Thailand, then stay tuned for 8 new Thai beach resort videos coming in the first half of 2023. Next up, we've got the setting, and we're heading to Phu Quoc in Vietnam for an honorable mention going to Mango Bay Resort. I really do think that the images just speak for themselves here. 2023 is going to bring 4 more resort tours from this beautiful island. In third place, we again have the Alila Ubud, which is dripping with character and full of beautiful lush vegetation, along with their fair share of Bali's macaque population. If you enjoy Alila properties, I've got 3 more of them booked in 2023 in Bali, Oman, and India. The silver flip-flop goes to the Six Senses Uluwatu. Now, I will remind you that as far as a Six Senses property goes, this one really didn't fit the mold, but it surely was a beautiful spot with idyllic pools. Also on offer were incredible cliff views where you could watch the sea turtles all day long. I've got 2 Six Senses booked for this year, but you'll have to guess where. With my favorite setting of the year is the Naka Island Resort just off the coast of Phuket. It's not a private island per se, but it sure feels like it, and as soon as you step off the boat, you'll be transported to a picturesque tropical haven. Now a part of Marriott's luxury collection, the property was originally a Six Senses of its own. If Bonvoy is your program of choice, then you'll be happy to see 7 or 8 properties from the Marriott Group coming up this year. Next up, we're going to focus our lenses to check out some incredible views. With an honorable mention is the Zanier by San Ho, which overlooks the entirety of the crescent-shaped valley that it was built across. You probably saw this one coming. Coming in third place is the Emiliano Rio, which in addition to giving those incredible rooftop views, also give you some of the most incredible sunrises you'll ever lay your eyes on. The view worthy of the silver flip-flop is at the Apurva Kempinski in Bali, and not just because the view itself is beautiful, but because the resort was designed taking advantage of its unique shape, built into the hillside and offering views from top to bottom. Don't you want to wake up to this view from your bed? Coming in with a decisive first place is the iconic TWA Hotel at New York's JFK Airport. Even if you choose the cheapest rooms, which still aren't cheap, you'll still be able to soak in all of these views from the rooftop pool and bar. Let's head into the meal category, which focuses on specific meals instead of restaurants or food programs in general. With an honorable mention is the Four Seasons in Bogota. Normally, I wouldn't order something like a steak from room service because you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. But I took the chance and was lucky that I did, because it was one of the best steaks that I've had all year. The fried plantains and roasted tomato soup certainly didn't hurt either. Another honorable mention goes to the Barcelona edition, and it was kind of a happy mistake. I ordered their eggs royale for breakfast, but asked for ham instead of salmon. And I was asked if I wanted normal ham or Iberico ham. As an Eggs Benedict aficionado, I was a little ashamed to say that I'd never even considered putting Iberico ham in the dish. But holy shit, it was the best single thing that I've had for breakfast this year. Coming in third place in a crowded field was a dinner that I had at the Intercontinental Jimbaran in Bali. On paper, these are really basic dishes in Indonesia, gado-gado and nasi campur. But the flavor and execution here far exceeded my expectations and made for one of my best meals in Bali. I'll also note that while beef rendang is one of my favorite dishes, I often pass it up in hotels because it has a tendency to be sitting there all day, and by dinner time it's just dry. But not here, and that duck was crispy and fatty in the best way possible. Next up we have the Hotel Unique, which was a lunch of contrasts. First up, I had the very Brazilian take on ceviche, which was as bright and refreshing as it looks, followed by my favorite Brazilian dish, carne seca com aipim, which is essentially dried and then rehydrated beef, served with what is normally fried yuca chunks. But here, they were yuca tots, which should be its own thing. The view of the city didn't hurt the experience either. Coming in first, well, it's technically not even a meal, but it was certainly enough food to be one. We have the afternoon tea service at the Capella Bangkok. Any of you that have seen my Capella video know that I frankly wasn't super impressed with the hotel itself. But this tea service was next level stuff, and I would highly recommend it as a treat to anyone visiting Bangkok, no matter where you're staying. Everyone gets their own savory bites, scones, sweet treats, and of course tea itself, from their extensive menu, and all served on some of the most beautiful and ornate china that I think I've ever come across. Next up, breakfast. Now we're going to be talking about the service in general that the hotel offers. With an honorable mention, we have the Sofitel Legend Metropole in Hanoi, for quite an incredible room service spread. I'll simply say that everything was as good as it looks. With the bronze, we have the Kimpton Malai once again for their extensive and thoughtful, key word here, thoughtful, breakfast buffet. The spread here had absolutely everything that you'd expect, but with some additions like many types of milk, cold-pressed juices, bottled cold brew, dietary-specific foods, and the like. Of course, there was also chicken satay and your standard hot Western foods. But then they also had stunners like this bacon-topped French toast. If all of that wasn't enough, then there's also a supplemental a la carte menu with things like avocado toast, yogurt parfaits, shakshuka, and a whole lot more, including a kids menu. My top two picks both feature an increasingly popular resort breakfast trend, unlimited a la carte menus. For the silver, we're at the Andaz Bali, where the matcha chia pudding and the roasted pineapple French toast were the highlights for me. If you're a fan of Andaz property, I've got two more coming up this year, one urban hotel and one beach resort. Como Uma Ubud takes the literal cake though, coming in with my favorite breakfast service of the year, probably all time. A similar concept to Andaz, but definitely elevated. They of course have their own basics like freshly baked almond croissants and eggs benedict. But then they take a left turn and also have incredible stuff like zucchini and halloumi fritters served with smoked salmon and lebna, or cinnamon-scented roasted coconut and mango French toast. Their breakfast menu changes up often, but don't worry, it's gonna be good. In general, Como talks a big game when it comes to their food, and they live up to their words. Coming up next, we've got a few unique feature categories, which especially stand out at a singular property. First up is the Intercontinental Jimbaran, which hands down has some of the most beautiful and well-maintained gardens and landscaping on Earth. The amount of work that it must take to keep all of this looking beautiful is insane, especially since you'll rarely see garden staff around the property. If you've got an itch for Intercontinental, I've got 2 more resorts coming up this year and a total of 13 IHG properties booked for 2023. Next up, another Intercontinental, this time in Phuket, which has one of the most unique focal points of any resort that I've seen. This is one of those features that looks great during the day but even better at night. The designers here imagine the mirror mosaic tiles lining the walls as a way to reflect the sky, giving guests the sense of walking in the clouds. This and the spa building ahead of us inspired by the planes of existence as explored in ancient Thai texts. I share a lot more about it in the full video. Next up, a quickie for some brownies at the Hotel Unique, which were so incredible that some of them followed me to Argentina as well. As for the most comfortable bed, this is a really easy one for me. The beds at the Hansar Hotel will literally make you want to stay in bed all day long. And this is coming to you from someone who springs out of bed at 6 a.m. like clockwork. The last of the unique features I'm calling Immersion, and you'll find the best of the best at the Como Uma. Originally, I was calling this the best cultural experience, but I hate references like that, and so I was just trying to narrow the definition of what I really loved, and it was the immersive feel of the resort. Every single square inch of this place oozes Bali. It lives, breathes, and sleeps Bali. It honors Bali, and it allows you to explore as little or as much of it as you'd like. You're not forced to participate, it's just what the resort is. Whether or not you explore every corner or notice every detail is your choice, as it should be, you're on vacation. And just in case you haven't noticed yet, I kinda like Bali, which is why you're gonna see 5 more Bali resort tours coming this year. Let's get into hotel design, where I'm giving an honorable mention to the Excelsior Hotel Gallia in Milan. In the same way that the Como is Bali, the Excelsior is Milan, past and present. Every inch of the interior is refined, designed, and engineered with a level of meticulosity that I rarely see in big box brand hotels, this one being under Marriott's umbrella. Next up, we're giving the third place award to the Andaz Bali, which makes the cut for the way that it blends indoors, outdoors, modern amenities, and Balinese design cues, all into one beautiful and delightfully lived-in package. Unlike a lot of new resorts these days, the Andaz here was fully grown in when it opened, giving it an instant cozy feel. A low-rise hotel, all rooms overlook the main square, a garden lagoon, a garden pool, a garden courtyard. Notice the pattern here? Gardens, and beautiful ones at that. Next up is an easy choice for me, but is not a place without its fair share of controversy. The Apoorva Kempinski is designed as a palace to the gods. It's big and it wants you to know that it's big. This ended up being the host resort of this past November's G20 conference. As for the controversy, in short, it's a distinctly Javanese design language, on an island which is not Java, and has its own beautiful design language worthy of its own palace. And the golden flip-flop for design goes to the TWA Hotel at JFK. The original flight center was designed by Eero Saarinen beginning in 1956. Described as, quote, sculpted as an abstract symbol of flight. Unlike most air terminals, which seemed intent on depressing passengers, Saarinen's not only raised the spirits, but also showed that concrete structures could be truly delightful, unquote. If you love hotels, or flying, or both, this really is a necessary stop for you. For the full history, check out my video. 2 tips though. First, go in the spring or the fall, when daylight is longer but the pool won't be overcrowded. Second, this hotel is expensive, overpriced even by New York standards. So book your trip assuming that you're just gonna have one night here, and book that runway view. You won't regret it. Time to head into my favorite brands that I discovered this year. A note that I wrote to myself while editing was these are all places where you want to be. We're starting off with Canopy by Hilton with an honorable mention. It might seem like this is coming out of left field, but here's my reason, really for all of the picks in this category. Lifestyle hotel brands seem to finally be learning what the hell lifestyle hotels should actually offer. The Canopy I stayed at in Paris featured modern interiors, a great location, and a lot of small touches welcome for actual travelers instead of just the Instagram crowd. Such as a transfer refuge for where you can store your bags and take a shower before a late flight, environmentally friendly in-room drink amenities, connectivity out the wazoo, and food venues which seamlessly transition to lounges and workspaces, becoming extensions of your room. Next up, and in that same thinking, is Arlo, here at the Arlo Midtown in New York. What this smart hotel may lack in room size, it more than makes up for with surprisingly great service, a multitude of meeting and lounging areas available for everyone's use, a really great coffee shop in the lobby, and 3 food venues which people that aren't staying at the hotel actually go to, and a rooftop with views for days. Easily taking the silver flip-flop, we've got Kimpton. Kimpton is what so many brands wish they were. Do you remember that popular kid from high school who was always the center of attention, but was also really down to earth and inclusive and smart? Yeah, that's Kimpton in a nutshell, and I'm here for it. 5-star but casual. Big city but staycation retreat. Business meetings in the lounge and parties on the roof. Kimpton is just a little bit of everything, and I must really love them because I have 4 more Kimpton properties from 3 different continents booked for 2023. Coming in first is, you may have guessed, Como. This Como property was the first and still only property that I've ever given a perfect score to, and it comes down to one basic principle. I think the best compliments that you can get as a hotel or restaurant owner is not, "Thanks for a great experience," or "Your products are great," but rather, "Thank you for always being consistent," or "Thanks for living up to our expectations." The differences are subtle, but key. In black and white terms, it's not hard to find a great designer, or a great builder, or a great any singular thing. But to be able to put together a well-orchestrated, but natural experience on a daily basis with staff that know their job so well that everything becomes effortless, that's hard. That, to me, is why Como is so good at what they do. A lot of effort, care, and thought has gone into this small luxury brand, and they are the perfect example of reaping what you sow. I look forward to the 2 other Como properties that I have booked coming up this year. Next up, we have the best overall value, and this one is such an easy one for me, and it surprises me that to this day the prices aren't 50% higher. Lalia Ninh Van Bay in Vietnam. This is just one of 3 properties that I've ever reviewed that I'll actually be returning to this year or sending my family to for actual vacation. Next up is what I feel is my all-time most underviewed video. The Emiliano is the hotel that Rio de Janeiro, a city that I love dearly, deserves. Over the years, I've spent around 6 months in Rio, but the Emiliano opened my eyes to one thing that I've never even considered. Beach cities are great, but to me, they're always still cities at the end of the day. The Emiliano makes me look at Rio as a city that I'd go to for a beach holiday. When I was staying there, I remember thinking, I wish Emiliano would make a true beach resort somewhere. And I can say now that I was wrong. I'm sure it would be a beautiful resort, but the urban setting, the limitations on the size, and the bustling surrounds are exactly what make the gorgeous Emiliano as great as it is. Last, but certainly not least, we have the winner of my favorite all-around hotel. And the winner is the Bellman Jimbaran Puri. You might be asking yourself, the only other category that Bellman won was 3rd place for their pool. How is this the best overall? Well, simply, you don't need to be the best at everything to be the best. The Bellman is lush, intimate, and just plain joyful. It's at the top of the ladder, but it's whimsical, not pretentious. And it's also a fantastic value compared to similar properties in Bali or other Bellmans in general. After this past year, I think of myself as jaded, but in a good way. I mean, if I turned up to every beautiful resort and was oohing and eyeing all day long, it would be kind of difficult to judge it with a critical eye. But as strategically jaded as I am, I still feel instantly right at home, if my home was in paradise, as soon as I walk through the entrance of the Bellman. As we walk around for another minute, I'll just share some stats from the past year and the year ahead. In 2022, I produced 68 hotel videos and had a total of 94 nights in hotels or on a cruise. Taking the videos that I've yet to publish from 2022, along with my bookings in 2023, I have 114 videos in queue. 78 of which are from hotels and resorts spanning 4 continents. Of those 78, 11 are World of Hyatt properties, 8 are fully independent, 13 from IHG, 5 from Accor, 7 from Bonvoy, 5 Leela Palaces, and 4 each from Taj and Oberoi, plus a whole lot more from smaller chains. I can't wait to see what 2023 has in store, and I'm confident the 22 countries in this year's itinerary are going to be right up many of your alleys. Stay tuned for another Flip-Flop Favorites video coming out in the next week or two, which is going to be all about my favorite flight trip reports from 2022. Thanks for watching and Happy New Year!